What if the key to everything you desire, freedom, peace, and success, wasn't more effort, but less? What if the real secret to life flowing effortlessly was simply trusting in life, in the process, and in yourself? We're taught that life is something we need to control, something to fix or conquer. But what if that's the very thing keeping us stuck? The truth is, the more you trust, the more life flows naturally toward you. Trust isn't passive. It's an active choice to let go of control and stop forcing outcomes. Yet, trusting life doesn't mean everything will go as planned. It's about embracing the unknown and surrendering control. Here's where the paradox comes in. Surrendering actually leads to things falling into place. As you release the need to control, opportunities arise, connections happen, and your path becomes clearer. It turns out, control is an illusion born from fear, fear of the unknown, fear of failure. When you release this fear, life begins to work with you, not against you, crafting a journey that doesn't require force, but trust. Let go and let life happen. You might be surprised at where you end up. If trust is the key, why is it so hard to let go of control? Why does it feel like we're supposed to take charge of our destiny, rather than letting life unfold naturally? Here's the truth. Control is an illusion. It's a product of fear, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. But when we hold on to control too tightly, we create resistance. And in that resistance, life gets stuck. It becomes a struggle rather than a flow. When you start to trust, you realize that control isn't the answer. Trusting life doesn't mean abandoning your goals or desires. It means releasing the expectation of how those goals will come to fruition. It's about surrendering the idea that you know best and allowing life to reveal the path in its own way. But here's where the tension builds. The more you try to control, the more life feels chaotic and out of alignment. And the more you let go, the more life begins to fall into place. It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? That surrender, not force, would lead to the success and peace we crave. But the more you trust, the more you'll see life working with you, not against you. So, what does it look like when you truly let go? It's not about doing less. It's about doing with more intention, more focus, and less attachment to the outcome. You start to act with clarity, not out of fear. And when you trust, you'll start to notice how life's flow begins to move you forward with much less effort than you thought possible. But the real question is, why does surrendering control actually make life easier? It's a strange thing. When you stop trying so hard to make something happen, things just seem to fall into place. It's like the universe knows what you need, even when you don't. But why does it work this way? This is where the paradox of trust and surrender comes in. When we're desperate to make something happen, we're not really trusting. We're trying to force the outcome. The energy we put into controlling a situation often creates resistance, and that resistance slows down the very thing we want to achieve. But when we trust, we release that resistance. We let go of the need to force the outcome, and suddenly, life begins to flow in ways we couldn't have planned. It's almost as if the act of surrendering creates space for what's meant to come to you. But here's the catch. This doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means engaging with life in a way that feels natural, without forcing or overthinking every step. When we trust, we stop pushing against life's natural rhythms. We stop forcing things to happen on our timetable and start to allow life to reveal its own timing. And in this surrender, we become more attuned to the subtle cues and opportunities that were always there, waiting for us to notice. It's a strange thing. The more you let go, the more you begin to attract what you need. The more you trust, the more the world seems to align with your desires. But why does this work? Why is surrender such a powerful force in manifesting what we want? Stick with me, because the answer may be simpler than you think. If you've ever noticed how things tend to fall into place when you're not forcing them, it's because the real secret to trust lies in presence. When we're fully present in the moment, we stop trying to control the future or dwell on the past. We experience life for what it is right now, without the distractions of worry, regret, or fear. And when we live in this present moment, life flows with ease. Think about the times in your life when you felt truly at peace. It wasn't because everything was going perfectly, it was because you were fully engaged in the experience, free from the mental chatter of what should be or what might be. In those moments, you didn't need to control the outcome. You were just being. Now, consider how often you spend your time preoccupied with the future. You may find yourself thinking about your next move, anticipating potential problems, or obsessing over what's to come. But by living in the future, you miss out on the present moment, the only place where life is actually happening. The more you live in the present, the more you allow life to unfold in ways you can't predict, but can fully embrace. This is where trust and presence are intertwined. Trust isn't about knowing what's next. It's about being able to fully experience and appreciate the moment you're in. When you trust the present, you allow yourself to respond to life naturally, without overthinking, overplanning, or forcing outcomes. And this is when life begins to flow freely. But how does trust in the present lead to success and fulfillment? How does surrendering to the moment bring us closer to what we truly want? The greatest barrier to trust is the fear of uncertainty. We crave certainty. We want to know that the path ahead is clear, that we won't face hardships we can't handle, and that our choices will lead us to the right outcome. But the truth is, life is full of uncertainty, and that's where its beauty lies. Uncertainty is the very essence of life's flow. Without it, there would be no room for growth, creativity, or surprise. But we've been conditioned to fear the unknown. We try to predict every step, to control every variable, because we fear the discomfort that comes with uncertainty. However, it's in that discomfort where life's most rewarding moments occur. When we let go of the need to control and instead embrace uncertainty, we open ourselves to new possibilities. The moment we trust that life is unfolding in ways we can't always predict, we begin to experience a deeper sense of peace and freedom. Embracing uncertainty means trusting that life is working with us, not against us. Even in moments of discomfort, there's an underlying current of possibility. Life is never static. It's always evolving, always shifting. And when we allow ourselves to flow with that change, rather than resist it, we tap into an incredible source of energy and insight. By embracing the unknown, we stop clinging to the need for things to be a certain way. We stop defining success by rigid standards. Instead, we allow life to surprise us, to take us places we never thought we'd go. And in that surrender, we discover a deeper sense of trust, one that frees us from the need to control every outcome. The more you trust, the more you understand that life is a dance, a rhythm of both patience and action. Trusting life doesn't mean waiting idly for things to happen. It means knowing when to act and when to step back. It's the balance between moving forward with confidence and stepping aside to let life unfold in its own time. Too often, we fall into the trap of doing. We think that the more we hustle, the more we'll achieve. But this constant push can lead to burnout, frustration, and a sense of disconnection from what truly matters. The truth is, life doesn't need us to force it. It needs us to meet it with intention and clarity. Patience is not about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about having the wisdom to recognize when action is needed and when it's time to wait. It's about trusting that everything has its time and place, and that our efforts will be most effective when they're aligned with the flow of life. The beauty of this dance is in the ebb and flow. Sometimes you'll take bold steps forward. Other times you'll take a step back, allowing the natural rhythm to guide you. When you trust the process, you stop trying to push against it. Instead, you start moving with it, letting life's currents carry you exactly where you need to go. This balance of patience and action doesn't come from force. It comes from trust. Trust that you're in the right place at the right time. Trust that the universe is unfolding in ways that will serve you. And trust that when you align yourself with this flow, everything starts to move with ease. When we talk about trusting life, we often forget the most important part of the equation: trusting yourself. The ability to trust life is rooted in the ability to trust your own intuition, your own instincts, and your own inner wisdom. The more you learn to trust yourself, the more you align with the flow of life. But self-trust isn't about being perfect. It's not about always knowing exactly what to do or having all the answers. It's about having the confidence to follow your own guidance, even when things feel uncertain. It's about taking that first step without knowing exactly where the path will lead, yet trusting that you will be led exactly where you need to go. Self-trust allows you to release the need for approval from others, the need to compare yourself to anyone else's journey, and the need to always have everything figured out. You become your own authority, not in the sense of controlling everything around you, but in the sense of being aligned with your own truth. As you trust yourself more deeply, you start to trust the process of life. You understand that things don't need to happen according to your timetable. They unfold at the perfect time. You stop forcing things into place and instead allow them to grow naturally, without resistance. When you trust both yourself and the process, everything becomes easier. You move forward with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty, because you know that life is guiding you in the right direction. And this is where the magic happens. When trust becomes a way of being, rather than a conscious effort. The more you trust, the more you realize that life isn't something to control, it's something to experience. You begin to move through life with a sense of ease, no longer burdened by the weight of your need to control every outcome. Trusting life means letting go of your attachment to specific results and embracing whatever comes your way with an open heart. This freedom comes from knowing that you are not alone in this journey. Life itself is working with you, not against you. The more you trust the process, the more you allow yourself to surrender to its flow. You no longer fight against the current. You ride it with confidence, knowing that wherever it leads, it will always bring you what you need. As you embrace this trust, you start to see life differently. It's not about perfect control or always having everything figured out. It's about moving forward with the confidence that you're exactly where you need to be. Trust becomes a natural part of your life, an inner knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. And here's the most profound truth. The more you trust, the more life flows effortlessly. It's when you let go of your need to control that you begin to align with the world around you, becoming a part of something bigger than yourself. If you've been feeling the call to explore deeper truths, embrace this trust, and experience life in its fullest, there's a community ready for you. Subscribe to The Wisdom Seeker, where we dive deeper into topics like this, helping each other live with more awareness, peace, and flow. Together, we'll explore how trust can transform every area of your life. Trust the process and let the journey unfold.